Hello everyone, welcome to another fun video. I have a really adorable card to share with you today. This is a really fun fold card, and I'm going to share more about the whole card in a second, but look at how it opens. The little cloud border comes down and the rainbow pops up, and there's another pop-up in there that says, "You brighten my cloudy days." Such a cute card. Now this is one of two cards that I'm going to share this week that is featuring the Bright Skies stamp set. This is one of my absolute favorite stamp sets. This one's been around for a while, so I'm not sure if it's going to retire this year yet. We get that list on April 1st, so we'll find out. But this is one of my absolute favorite stamp sets, and it comes with some pretty spectacular dies. Well, it doesn't come with it. You have to buy them separately, but the Bright Skies dies are pretty spectacular. These are some of my absolute favorite dies. We're actually going to pull out one of these little cloud borders. Can pull it out. There we go. We're going to use one of these cloud borders for our card. And then the other dies that I'm using are the Everyday Arches dies. These have been out of stock for a while. I do believe they're back. Last time I checked, they were back in stock, so you can order these again. If not, they should be back soon. But I love these dies. I've used them a ton. They are so phenomenal. So that's where we got all the arches for our rainbow. So that's what we're gonna actually start with the die cutting with our dies, with our Everyday Arches dies and our Bright Skies dies. The Bright Skies is in I believe it's in the annual catalog, but you can find all of these products in my online store. Okay, so the card itself, so adorable, right? Just love how the colors are so bright and vibrant, and it pops right up. So I saw Erica Cerwin make a rainbow box using the arches, and I thought, oh my gosh, I am absolutely going to do that, but I'm going to make mine into a card, because what a phenomenal idea to make a little rainbow card. Perfect for spring, perfect for encouragement, whatever. Okay, so we're going to start with our card base, and I am starting with a pool party card base. And my card base is 11 by 4 1/4, and I have already scored it at 3 1/2 and at 8 3/4. So we're gonna do, I'm not gonna burnish these down just yet because we're gonna do some die cutting, but there's a longer side. Let me fold these so you can kind of see. There's a longer side and a shorter side, and now that I'm looking at this, I'm like, did I do that right? Okay, I'll have to check my measurements. Measurements will be correct in the video description. I think I scored this. I scored it correctly, but it shouldn't overlap like that, and it should be 5 1/2 long, but that's okay. The measurements will be correct in the video description. There's a chance that I did this on purpose this way, probably to fit the arches, but anyway, check the measurements for in the video description. So there's a longer side and a shorter side. We're going to start on the shorter side. This is where we're going to cut our little cloud border. So we're just going to go kind of right up to the top, and I'm going to use some Post-it tape to hold this down. I'm going to grab a piece of my Post-it tape. You can use Post-it notes, you can use washi tape. So we're just going to hold this down, and we're going to die cut this little cloud border. Okay, so let me grab my cut and emboss machine, and we're going to run this through. I have my camera up a little higher, so hopefully the die cutting machine is not, overwhelming in the camera, but it's a pretty big machine. It's gonna be a little bit overwhelming. Now this die is about 6 inches long, which is about the size of your plates. My plates are really beat up, so try to ignore that. So you just want to make sure that your die is fully on the plate so that you're not, catching the die on the side of the machine or anything. We're going to just run this through. We don't need to run the whole paper through, just kind of run it just to cut that border. Okay, so we're going to pull our tape off. So we're left with this beautiful little cloud border die. And I've used these border dies for everything. You can use it for, if you turn it upside down, they can be waves in the ocean. Lots of fun things. So I'm going to save this tape because we're going to use it for the other side now. So now for this longer side, we're going to do some die cutting with the Everyday Arches die. So this is the largest of the Everyday Arches die. Sorry, I have to dig it out. And we are going to, let me see, okay, we're going to fold this in half. Like this, so that bigger score line, we're going to fold in half, and we're going to line this up toward the bottom of that score line. We don't want to go all the way to the bottom of that score line, and we want to make sure that up here, and I'll hold this up in just a second, but we want to make sure that we still have that folded edge. So mine is about maybe like 3/8 of an inch from the bottom, and I'm going to tape this down. Whoops, we'll have to start over. I wanted to pull that tape in half so that I could put one on each side. Okay, So we're gonna pull this down. Let me pull this up so you can see. So you can see that that die is not gonna cut all the way to the top. That's what we want. We want to leave a little bit of a flat edge there. That way the card can still open like a card. So we have that little bit of a flat edge. It does not come all the way down to that score line. So we have somewhere between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch. So 3/8 of an inch. And we are going to die cut this. We're going to go cut through both of those layers. And we are only going to cut, we don't want to go all the way to the bottom. So we're going to do kind of partial die cutting here. So I'm just going to put my plate in. I don't want the bottom to cut because we don't want the whole arch to cut. We just want that shape on top. So I'm going to put that in so that the maybe like 1/2 inch of that bottom die is not under the plate. So only the stuff that's under the plate is going to cut. So this part's not going to cut at all. So I'm just going to run that through. All right, let's pull this out. We can move our machine. We're done with our machine. Okay, move this out of the way. This is what we have. So let's peel off our die and our Post-it tape. And all right, and this is what we have. Now this is gonna look like a hot mess. You're gonna look at this and go, oh my gosh, I completely screwed this up. You have not, don't worry. We're gonna pull out our paper trimmer now. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to line up the edge of this just with the little gutter there. And then we're just going to cut this. Just cut that right off so that you have that nice smooth edge. And we're gonna do the same thing on this side. Just kind of line up that edge right next to that gutter, and then we're just gonna cut this off. So this card is gonna end up being a little bit more narrow than, grab my scissors, we'll just trim that off. A little bit more narrow than 5 1/4, but it'll still fit into a standard size card envelope. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Let me move all my trash out of the way. So this is what we did. We die cut the border here, and then we die cut that arch on this side. Now your stitching is only going to go down, it's not going to go down all the way to the bottom, but that's okay because our rainbows are going to take care of that. And then we have, when you open it up, it looks like this. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I hope you're with me. Okay, let's bring back our card so we can see where we're aiming to get to with this. Now for the rainbow, I have already die cut, and I'm going to bring in my dies again just so we can see which ones I used. So I went every other one for my rainbow. So let me move this out of the way so we can bring in our rainbow pieces. So I have Poppy Parade, and that is die cut with the biggest one. That is the same one that we used to die cut the front. So this panel, so when we glue it on, you're gonna have the same flush sides and the same rounded top all the way around. Okay, so that is in Poppy Parade with the biggest one. With the biggest one, so not the next size down, but the so it would be the 3rd largest one, I guess. This is in Peach Pie. The 5th largest is in Lemon Lolly. The 7th is in Coastal Cabana, and then this one is the 2nd smallest, and that is in Petunia Pop. So beautiful colors, they go so beautifully together. So we're gonna go ahead and adhere all of these rainbows together. So I'm gonna start, largest to biggest. So we'll start with our Peach Pie. You can use whatever glue you want for this. I'm just gonna use my Stampin' Seal. You can use liquid glue, that way you can maneuver it all around, but we're just going to go with a Stampin' Seal because it's quick. I made a bunch of these cards for a swap, and I had so much fun making them. The die cutting took a while, but they are so cute that it was totally worth it. Okay, and the Coastal Cabana, Poppy Parade, Peach Pie, Lemon Lolly, Coastal Cabana, Petunia Pop. Now you can do any version of the rainbow you want. If you want more regal colors, you can do like real red, crushed curry, those kind of, those real bold colors. If you want more bright colors, you can even throw in some like Melon Mambo and Berry Burst and that kind of thing, pumpkin pie. All right, we are going to adhere the rainbow now to our front flap. So this flap does not go all the way down to the bottom, so just this front flap. So I'm going to put on adhesive just on this top flap here. Okay, and what we're going to do is we are just going to kind of line up those sides so that everything is nice and even. Now your rainbow is not going to go all the way to the bottom because remember, this is the same exact size die as Poppy Parade one is the same size as that we cut into that pool party, so it's not going to go all the way to the bottom. So however much room you left from the bottom, that's what you're going to leave from the top. In the back, you should have that score line for your card to open and close. Okay, so pretty. It's coming together. Okay, let's go ahead and finish up the front. So also from those dies, I have a little cloud here, and then I have one of the bigger clouds from those Bright Skies dies. We're going to stamp our greeting on this, so let me grab some ink. I'm going to use Coastal Cabana ink. Actually, I think for this, I use Summer Splash. This actually might be Summer Splash, not Coastal Cabana, but I got Coastal Cabana ink out, so that's what we're going to go with. Coastal Cabana and Summer Splash are pretty close together. They're good buddies, so whichever one, it'll work fine. Okay, so Sprinkled with Love. Dimensionals. Let me grab some dimensionals. Do I have dimensionals? Oh, gracious. Okay, I have little dimensionals. That'll work. Okay, so we're going to pop on dimensionals. Now for this one, I'm not going to go all the way to the right side because we're going to end up cutting this off a little bit. So just a few dimensionals on here. And this one will go onto our card right on the bottom of the front here. Okay, now anything that's hanging off, you can use your paper snips or your paper trimmer. Just cut that off, and then we're going to add this cloud as well. I'm just going to put a couple dimensionals on the back of this guy, and we're going to add this cloud. Peel off the backings. All right, now this one, I'm going to go ahead and close the bottom because I want to make sure that I can line up this cloud correctly. So I'm just going to close the bottom just real loose so I can push that one in. And so you have this kind of layered cloud look. So pretty, right? All right, we're going to come back with the rhinestones to finish it off in just a minute, but let's work on the inside piece now. So we have this beautiful pop-up piece. So let's adhere our stamped piece and our die cut piece just so that has time to dry. So for that, I have die cut out of Peach Pie. I've die cut the sun, both the solid part of the sun, the little stitch circle, and then the like raised part. This one I've already pre-stamped. You brighten my cloudy days. And then we have one more cloud to go with this one. So let me move the card out of the way. This one I'm going to adhere with some liquid glue, just so it's nice and strong on the inside. So I just put a little dot on the bottom of the greeting, and then we'll just stick the sun on there. And then we'll stick our cloud, or not our cloud, the rest of our sun, our two-piece sun right on top, just like that. And then our cloud will go right over it. So I'm actually going to put a little dimensional right here next to the sun. Our cloud will catch onto that, and then I'm going to put just a little bit of glue on the bottom of the sun. And that way our cloud has plenty to grip onto. You don't want to cover up the greeting, so let me make sure we don't cover the greeting up. Okay, just like that. So cute, right? The sun just kind of peeking through. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to put that aside. And this label here is the Countryside Corners dies. Okay, now to make our little pop-up piece, this is super simple. This is just a piece that is 4 by 1, and I've scored it at 3/4, 2, and 2 3/4. So let's go ahead and burnish those down. So it's not going to make a square, it's going to make kind of a rectangle. Okay, so, but when you kind of mash it together, it should make a little even rectangle. And when you fold it in half, they should kind of still fold in half. Okay, so we're going to pop this down into the middle of our card. And this I am going to use liquid glue for because I just want to make sure that I can maneuver it around. So we have a 3/4 inch tab here, and then we have, what is this, like a 1 1/4? This is a 1 1/4 and a 3/4. I'm going to start with the 3/4 one. And I'm going to put some glue on that. Just a little bit of glue. You can use any strong glue you want. And I folded it in half so that the glue is on top of that 3/4 inch tab there. And I'm going to just center this down. And this is in Pool Party also, just so that it coordinates with the inside of the card. I'm just going to center this right under the score line, and then I'll just close my card. I'll give that a little firm press so that it picks it up. And then when we open it up, we will put glue on this 1 1/4 inch piece. Do not go past that score line though. Just on that 1/4 inch piece, 1 1/4 inch piece. And then we'll just fold the card back this way again. Give that a little bit of a burnish. And then you have your little pop-up feature, just like that. Totally cute, right? So it just makes a little rectangle. You're just going to glue one side to the back of your card, one side to the top front of your card. Okay? And then we'll just come in. I want to make sure these are nice and burnished. We're going to come in. You can actually lay this down like that. We're going to add just a little bit of adhesive just to the bottom of the top rectangle piece. This is that 1 1/4 inch piece this way, the 3/4 inch this way. And we're just going to adhere this on. This might be better with like Stampin' Seal because you get that instant hold. Okay. Just want to give that a good press. Then just make sure that it opens and closes. I'm just going to give everything a really good press just to make sure all that glue is adhering perfectly. Oh, so cute. All right, that little pop-up feature, it's such a fun added surprise and it's really not hard to make. Okay, now let's finish up this card with some rhinestones. Let me open up my package of rhinestones. We're just going to add like 3 of these around the front. Let me close this. We're just going to add these around the cloud on the bottom here. So 1, get a couple more. The rhinestones are so gorgeous. They're nice and shiny and, you know, they can resemble, you know, raindrops, whatever. All right, and that is our fun Bright Skies pop-up card. Isn't it adorable? I love these arches. I've had so much fun playing with them. And this fun pop-up card is just such a fun surprise. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me. I have another video to share on Thursday with another pop-up card using the Bright Skies stamp set and dies as well. So I hope you come back on Thursday for another video. Thanks, guys. Bye.